In Scarpetta episode 6, I am fully here for the comedy that Jamie Lee Curtis is in right now, inside this odd family drama, pretending to be a mystery. But frankly, we have totally thrown out the hope and concept that this is a mystery program. We're now in Jamie Lee Curtis's comedy. Not to mention the loose-lipped lesbians. Are you kidding me? So, full spoilers ahead. If you don't want spoilers for Scarpetta episode 6, please catch something else. Otherwise, let's dive in. Because this Oscar-winning actress, yes, she gives us comedy. She gives us horror. She gives us all the things we love that she can do. She gives us full-on Fish Called Wanda right back here 40 years later. But I don't also want to demean her dramatic moments, her turning on a dime from comedy to drama. If we want to put it in tennis terms, from defense to offense, she's nailing it. So I am at this point maybe only fully here for her comedy. Now, the loose-lipped lesbians. Are you kidding me? Is it not enough that AI Janet is dropping truth bombs and apparently can't hold back whenever something interesting comes up? We've yet to really figure out what the heck this is, but she's one element. Now we have Lucy outing Pete as having almost killed somebody the day before, the episode before, the bacon cream cheese omelets before. Honestly, of everything in the show, I thought I'd like a cream cheese bacon omelet. I'm up for it. Without the jam. That's a little too Monte Cristo-ish for my taste. So, Jamie Lee Curtis again flips a lovely moment into "Are you kidding me?" And then it goes from drama to comedy, drama to comedy. She's nailing it, absolutely nailing it. So this ostensibly is Benton's episode. And what do we discover? Little baby Benton, we're back in timeline number 3. This show truly should have been called time travel. It's the only thing that actually suits the nature of the show, let alone the rapid progression from one moment to another, right? Baby Benton is a sociopath, diagnosed, I have to say incorrectly, by his mother, but maybe other people were involved. And perhaps he's borderline psychopath? It's really hard to tell. Which only makes me think, is this what the FBI is both screening for and looking for? Because I would make an assumption that for a high-level federal position in the US, so everything's on the table here. Nothing surprises me these days. But in the US federal government, do they not want to screen out sociopathology? Do they not want to screen out psychopathology? Or is that his secret power where he will recognize other serial killers? I don't know, but it does beg the question inside this show and this story specifically, are our professionals really bad at what they do? Or are they so crazy that they just have luck on their side? It seems like a little bit of all of the above. But suffice to say, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So let's go back into our plot line, finally, right? Oh, before we do, let's talk about how this wackadoodle situation rounds up. He's gone to a hotel. Now, the night before, he said, "That's my house. I'm not going anywhere." Apparently, things got so bad, he couldn't lower the vibe, right? So now he's going to go to a hotel. Now, the thing that yet again baffles me, he's having a pissed off conversation where Jamie Lee Curtis has consumed his $800+ bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild. You get it, right? Nevertheless, and she's going to write a check. So again, she's got the comedy flying out there. Good for you, Dot. Love it. Now, meanwhile, he's not going to stay home tonight. He's not enjoying it. But we're in Alexandria. We're in the greater DC area. His only option is apparently an Econo Lodge or something like this. Maybe a Ramada Inn in honor of Cami Ramada. We'll get to her. So he ends up, this OCD guy brings a bottle of really good scotch with him, right? He ends up in this flea pit. Flies everywhere. They got a tennis racket, fly killer in the room. The whole thing is so crazy. And, his little sociopathology sparks to life as he kills a fly. Yes, we got it. Hitting over the head yet again. So ultimately, though, we discover that what? the serial killer is staying in the same hotel, possibly next door, possibly down the road, possibly, who knows? For a moment, I was like, wait, is he the killer? Is he the killer? Is this a bit of a bait and switch? But then we do see everything's on the opposite side. There's not a bottle of scotch. There's a bottle of Budweiser. There's a cooler. But it did make me think, oh, is it some Jekyll and Hyde situation? This is the only interesting thing that comes out of this show at this point, where you're like, let me make it better and more interesting. But is it a Jekyll and Hyde situation where the Benton who arrives comes with scotch and the Benton who leaves, having gotten triggered by a fly being killed, leaves after a bottle of Bud? I don't know. He moves like a young guy. If I hadn't gotten confused with the time frames, I might say that he was the forensic specialist who worked with Kay, but that's 30 years ago. Silly me. Silly me for getting confused with 3 timelines. Are you kidding me? So that's where we are at the moment. Okay, so let's go back to the plot, which is apparently meant to be the whole point of this story, but it so isn't, is it? Right? So what's happening now? We apparently resolved Gwen Haney. Again, are these people so bad at their job? Just to review from yesterday's episode, I believe, who even knows at this point, right? Pete keeps saying, oh, Doc, it wasn't Peterson. Peterson's not the bad guy. Peterson knew her, but it wasn't that. It's not Peterson. In basic mystery solving 101, let's even say basic crime solving police detection 101. Would I not get this in a 101 class? Until we actually know for a fact who the perpetrator is, possibly with a Y, but absolutely a who, can we absolutely disregard any other suspects? I think not. I don't know that Yamamat is actually the killer. I actually don't even care at this point. But I do think it seems like very shoddy detective work and very shoddy policing to automatically think, well, if this, then clearly not that. This seems like bad police work. So, suffice to say, we've somehow resolved Gwen Haney, which we haven't, of course, but now we got to deal with absolutely Cami Ramada. Okay, so what's going on with Cami Ramada here? So wait, by the end of this episode, I can barely keep track, right? They're actually going to decide to do an exhumation, right? And Maggie is told to prep something. I don't even know why she's told. Oh, maybe she has to coordinate the exhumation. Anyway, suffice to say, Maggie's meant to do the exhumation. It looks like it will happen, but Maggie looks like she's going to call the big boss, who's now ready, as the health commissioner. All of this is very mysterious. It's so glossed over. We're really not meant to understand any of it, perhaps because it all seems so ludicrous. And it makes you think, wouldn't Maggie just have been told not to do it, not to organize the exhumation? Suffice to say, it looks like she will. Okay. But we also find this flattened penny. So what's the flattened penny? Clearly, there is a link between Gwen Haney with the flattened penny on the railroad track and Cami Ramada drowned in the lake. It's a tragedy. It's terrible. But yes, these two things do look and smell very similar. So that's where we are here. Before we move back into history, into our other timeline, right, we then get another blowout that brings Benton to the hotel where Dot has dropped her own little truth-telling experience and she's like, oh, Benton, you don't know, do you? I've drunk your $800 bottle of wine and you don't know. And now I'm not going to tell you either. You ask her. So then Kay comes home. Benton asks her, what? No, nothing happened. But we just know from the car with Pete Marino that something is a secret, but a necessary secret. This woman really gets my goat. I am not here for any, despite the show being called Scarpetta, I actually think it's about Dorothy Scarpetta. Because Kay Scarpetta, she's really one note. She's really, everything is, I don't know, does she even say that things are there for truth? I don't even know. But on one hand, she's like, we gotta respect the dead. On the other, she's battering skeletons of human beings. I don't know what I'm looking at half the time, but sure, she can be full of contradictions. In this case, it does not make her more interesting. So that's where we are. Let's go back in time though. Now, this actually may have been the only episode where what happened 30 years ago may be a little more compelling and less ludicrous than what's going on now. So Amazon Prime doesn't even know how to describe it, right? Amazon Prime, like in the descriptions, is like past K and past P. I'm like, I wouldn't know how to put it either. So past K now has to deal with Abby's sister, right? So what a terrible way that the last episode ended. We discover what happened to Abby's sister. This is tragic. It's awful. Also, it's really, really a dick move. I'm guessing let's just say that we're going to say that here. What a dick move for this guy Bolts, the attorney, to come into the house, which of course makes you think, oh, is he coming into the house to make sure his DNA is in the house and recently? And then we discover that he apparently like drugged and roofied Abby. This is just awful. So Abby is now, she's gone from a perpetrator of truth to the victim in this storyline. But now she and Kay have a little rapport going. Now, we'll get to the syrup thing in a second. Here's my question, right? As of this episode, the only thing I really wanted to know, because I finally got some really good human connection, is where's adult Abby in all of this? Abby 30 years later, did she have to leave town? Did she have to move? I'm waiting for that information. But of all of these characters, I'm kind of more interested in Abby at this point. But more importantly, I love these storylines. I got this in the other Amazon Prime show I watched recently, Young Sherlock. I got this throughout. But this show is absolutely what Abby says, which I'm there for as well, which is not only a bunch of middle-aged guys failing up, but these men, says Abby, these men, they take and they take and they take and they take. And I too see this everywhere. Despite myself being a white guy, I am going here and we'll just let this stay here. Don't come for me. Despite being a white guy, I don't fall into the failing upward take category. So when I'm able to see it and recognize it and know it's okay, I'm not that, I'm fully on board with that. And that seems to be maybe what the show is really, let's say it's one of the many convoluted tied up strands of this show. But what do we also know back from 30 years ago? Maple syrup something something. So this metabolic disorder is maple syrup something something. And we're gonna flush him out. Now, we realize with past K and past Benton from 30 years ago that we're gonna flush him out. But no one says what that's gonna look like. So we don't know what flush him out actually means or what the actual plan is, but we're gonna flush him out by making some information public. Okay, that's cool. I still think some idea of how we're gonna flush him out might be cool to make sense in the moment, but hey, they're not great at what they do is really what it comes down to. So we got the maple syrup thing. I think in the FBI office, we also have the something something bullets, right? So we have all this really weird terminology. And just to wrap up our little package for today, we have so many more names thrown into the mix as we identify the astronauts who were being they were being autopsied. Maggie was pissed about it, but we know their names now too. So we're not only multiplying timelines, we're not only multiplying characters, we're getting more names in the mix that mean nothing to us. Well done, double fail. So that's episode 6. This one, I have to say, right? I've given up on this being a mystery so completely that I'm enjoying the bit of a car crash that it is, and at least we're getting more twists and turns now. So we're gonna see this through to the end. What do you think? Are you here for the loose-lipped lesbians? Are you here for the comedy Jamie Lee Curtis is starring in? Do you love these twists and turns? Who do you prefer is really what I want to know here. Do you prefer current K or past K? And then how about the other characters too? Current versus past. It's a hot mess. But let me know what you like.